The year is 1980. A 16-year-old high school student walks into a small McDonald's in Albuquerque, New Mexico for his first shift as a line cook, earning just $2.69 per hour. He cleans the restaurant corner to corner, branded as the new guy nobody thinks much about. That teenager's name was Jeffrey Preston Bezos. Exactly 38 years later, he would become the richest man on planet Earth, worth over $180 billion. This is the extraordinary story of how a McDonald's employee built the most valuable company in history. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. January 12, 1964. Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen is born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to 17-year-old Jacqueline, who hadn't yet graduated high school. I was 2 weeks past my 17th birthday and a junior in high school when I gave birth to my first son, Jeff, she later recalled. The family was desperately poor. Jacqueline was so broke that owning a telephone seemed like an impossible luxury. I figured out that Jeff and I could move into our own apartment if we just didn't have a phone. When Jeff was 4, his mother remarried Cuban immigrant Mike Bezos, changing the boy's surname from Jorgensen to Bezos. This new father figure would provide stability, but more importantly, Jeff would soon discover the man who would shape his character forever. Every summer from age 4 to 16, Jeff spent 3 months at his grandfather's ranch in Cotulla, Texas. This experience proved transformational. His grandfather taught him the fundamentals of self-reliance and problem-solving that would define his entire approach to business. He was incredibly self-reliant. He did everything himself. If one of the animals was sick, he figured out what to do himself. Jeff later reflected. He would take on major projects that he didn't really know how to do and then figure out how to do it. Chapter 2. The Making of a Genius. Jeff's intellectual gifts emerged early. Accepted into his elementary school's gifted program, he transformed the family garage into what he called Science Fair Central, creating inventions like an alarm system to keep siblings out of his room. In high school, his academic excellence continued. He won the Silver Knight Award for outstanding leadership and community service, eventually graduating as valedictorian. When asked about his academic performance, Jeff admitted, "I was a good student. I always worked really hard. I was nerdy. I was in the goody-goody class of students." Despite his intelligence, Jeff wasn't wealthy. At 16, he took that job at McDonald's, earning minimum wage while learning valuable lessons about automation, customer service, and focus that would serve him decades later. The same way I do, they work in the future. They live in the future, he explained about his approach. None of the people who report to me should really be focused on the current. Chapter 3. Princeton and Wall Street. Jeff's academic excellence earned him admission to Princeton University, where he initially planned to study physics. I went to Princeton primarily because I wanted to study physics, which is such a fantastic place to study physics. However, he quickly realized physics wasn't his calling and switched to electrical engineering and computer science, graduating summa cum laude, among the highest achievers in his class. Upon graduation, prestigious companies like Intel, Nokia, and Accenture offered him positions. Instead, Jeff chose a financial tech startup called Phytel, then moved to the hedge fund D.E. Shaw in 1990 at age 26. I went to New York City and ended up working at a quantitative hedge fund run by a brilliant man named David Shaw, Jeff recalled. Rather than focusing on his impressive salary, Jeff valued the lessons his boss taught him about hiring, recruiting, and building teams. Chapter 4. Love and Life Planning. Despite professional success, Jeff felt something missing. He decided he wanted to get married and began what he called good old-fashioned blind dates. His approach was characteristically analytical. When I was telling my friends my criteria, one of the ones that I would list was that I wanted a woman who could get me out of a third-world prison, he explained. This wasn't because Jeff planned illegal activities, but because he wanted someone resourceful. I think you don't want to go through life with teammates who aren't resourceful. In 1992, he met MacKenzie Scott. Their relationship moved quickly. They dated 3 months, were engaged 3 months, then married in 1993. Our whole dating engagement period was only 6 months long. Chapter 5. The Internet Revolution. By 1994, Jeff had become D.E. Shaw's youngest senior vice president. Life seemed perfect. Prestigious job, beautiful wife, Manhattan apartment. But perfection made him restless. He developed what he called a regret minimization framework. When I'm 80 years old, I want to have minimized the number of regrets that I have. I don't want to be 80 years old in a quiet moment of reflection, thinking back over my life and cataloging a bunch of major regrets. Then he discovered a statistic that changed everything. Web usage was growing at 2,300% annually. I decided I would try and find a business plan that made sense in the context of that growth. Jeff realized he could sell products online and chose books because there were more items in the book category than any other category. So you could build universal selection. There were 3 million in 1994. Chapter 6. The Garage Startup. In 1994, Jeff made the boldest decision of his life. He told MacKenzie he wanted to quit his lucrative job to start an internet company. Even before she could say, "What's the internet?" she said, "Great, let's go," because she wanted to support it. They drove cross-country to Seattle, with Jeff writing Amazon's business plan during the road trip. The company, originally called Cadabra, started stereotypically in their garage. Jeff's parents invested their life savings, approximately $300,000, into the venture. He warned early investors there was a 70% chance they'd lose everything. "I thought I was giving myself triple the normal odds. Usually it's about 10%. Here I was giving myself a 30% chance." The early days were challenging. Jeff personally drove packages to the post office. They packed books on the floor without tables. And MacKenzie did accounting despite having no experience. We were so inefficient with our operations and logistics in those early days. Chapter 7. Explosive Growth. Despite the amateur operations, Amazon's concept worked brilliantly. We were shocked at the customer response. Literally, in the first 30 days, we had orders from all 50 states and 45 different countries. The secret was Jeff's obsessive focus on customers rather than competitors. The number one thing that has made us successful by far is obsessive-compulsive focus on the customer, as opposed to obsession over the competitor. Between 1995 and 1997, computer ownership in American households doubled from 15 to 35%. This timing proved perfect for Amazon's growth. In 1997, Amazon went public at $1.73 per share. That same share would eventually be worth over $3,000. The IPO raised $54 million and made Jeff officially a millionaire for the first time. Chapter 8. Beyond Books. Amazon's success allowed expansion beyond books. Jeff emailed customers asking what else they wanted to buy online. Responses like, "I wish you sold windshield wiper blades," made him realize we can sell anything this way. Amazon transformed from online bookstore to comprehensive marketplace, selling everything from electronics to toys. The stock price reflected this expansion, climbing from $6 in 1998 to $60 just 1 year later. By 1999, Jeff's net worth reached $10.1 billion, landing him on Forbes' Billionaires list. Despite his wealth, he remained humble, driving a 3-year-old Honda and using a desk made from a door. It's a symbol of spending money on things that matter to customers and not spending money on things that don't. Chapter 9. The dot-com crash. Then, disaster struck. The dot-com bubble burst in March 2000, and Amazon's stock plummeted from $113 to $6 in less than a year, a 95% drop. Jeff's net worth crashed from $10.1 billion in 1999 to $1.5 billion by 1999. 2002. Amazon laid off 14% of its workforce. Many predicted bankruptcy, but Jeff refused to surrender. The whole point of moving things forward is you run into problems, you run into failures, things don't work, you have to back up and try again. He maintained that the stock wasn't the company. Every single thing about the business was getting better and fast. As the stock price was going the wrong way, everything inside the company was going the right way. Chapter 10. Recovery and Expansion. Innovation continued during the crisis. Amazon launched Amazon Web Services in 2002, helping third-party retailers build online stores. By 2004, the stock had recovered to $50, a 1,000% increase from its low point. Jeff's interests expanded beyond commerce. In 2000, he founded Blue Origin, a space exploration company kept secret until 2006. Space is like that for me. I watched Neil Armstrong step onto the moon when I was 5. The vision was ambitious. Millions of people living and working in space. Jeff wanted to build reusable rockets to make space travel affordable, paralleling Elon Musk's similar mission with SpaceX. Chapter 11. Media Empire. By 2013, Amazon had made Jeff the 19th richest person globally. That year, he made another unconventional purchase, The Washington Post, for $250 million. I asked him how much he wanted. He said $250. I said fine. I didn't negotiate with him, and I did no due diligence. The internet had devastated traditional newspapers, but Jeff saw opportunity. He combined his internet expertise with the Post's journalistic talent, restructuring it as an online media site. By 2016, the Post was profitable again. Chapter 12. The Crown. In July 2015, Amazon's quarterly earnings surprised investors, causing the stock to surge 18% in after-hours trading. When markets opened, Jeff earned $7 billion in 60 minutes, becoming the 5th richest person worldwide. Rather than hoarding wealth, he reinvested in Amazon, hiring 130,000 new employees. Growth continued accelerating. In March 2018, Jeff finally overtook Bill Gates to become the world's richest man with $112 billion. I could assure you I have never sought that title. It was fine being the second wealthiest person in the world. His wealth peaked at $182 billion in 2020, boosted by pandemic-driven online shopping demand. Though Elon Musk briefly surpassed him in 2021, Jeff's position remains secure among the world's wealthiest individuals. Epilogue. The legacy. From that 17-year-old mother struggling in poverty to her son becoming the richest human in history, Jeff Bezos' story transcends typical success narratives. His journey teaches essential lessons. Focus obsessively on customers, not competitors. Embrace failure as learning opportunity. Take calculated risks when opportunity presents itself. Most importantly, never surrender when everyone else feels like quitting. Jeff proved that humble origins don't determine final destinations. Whether cleaning McDonald's floors or building space rockets, success comes from persistent effort, intelligent risk-taking, and unwavering commitment to long-term vision. From garage startup to global empire, his story demonstrates that with enough determination, innovative thinking, and customer obsession, anyone can transform not just their own life, but the entire world's way of living and working. The boy who once earned minimum wage flipping burgers ultimately created maximum value for billions of customers worldwide, proving that in America, extraordinary success remains possible for those bold enough to pursue their wildest dreams.